So I've been for the past many hours, starting with the Asian market. I've been trading the demo because I tapped out early. So what I've noticed about when I'm trading the demo is that I tend to go big because it doesn't really matter whether I lose or not. It's just time. I'm just waste burning time. And what I noticed that when I go big, uh, sometimes, in many instances, I do pass. Okay, in a single trade, one trade allows me to pass. Okay, and of course, on the flip side, because I'm going big, what it will do is I will lose too. Okay, but if I were to use a stop loss, I can exit the trade early and then minimize the loss. But the loss is still pretty big. Okay, so then there's a tantalizing kind of a situation here. Okay, so I could trade small, and then uh, and then incrementally make the gains. Okay, which if I'm making like 1%, using small size, that means I could have essentially just passed with that one day the way that I traded, right? With big size. Because if I'm trading right, that gives me 1%. That means all I have to do is make it a little bigger and hold it a little longer, and I would get it. I would get it, right? So there's this tantalizing little thing that I need to be exploring, which is okay. So what happens? What happens if I do use a big size, and then I figure out how to use a stop loss so that when I'm wrong, okay, if I'm right 75% of the time, okay, that's my statistical the win to loss ratio. If I'm right 75% of the time, what would my size have to be, right? I need to be asking that question to myself. Okay, so what's the right size? Okay, if I'm three out of four times correct, okay, then what kind of size do I need so I can dial that in? Okay, so when I dial it in, so it's possible that 1% could be like 3% or maybe 4%. So I could achieve maybe 3 to 4% in a single day. And so the time it takes me to achieve my goal can be reduced substantially. So if I have 2 to 3 days like that, then I can essentially pass practically any kind of challenge, because I will have dialed in the direct correlation, the right formula between the risk and my win to loss ratio. So when I have my win to loss ratio, which essentially is 75%, then I can optimally set my risk, and then the residual, the fallout from that would be, which would be closer to an ideal situation, based on the win to loss ratio and the risk size. Okay, but if I exceed that, obviously I'm gonna lose the challenge. So then what I need to do is I need to actively strive for it. I need to actively strive for uh, making to increase my size, but not too big. Okay, so I need to dial in my size. I have to find a sweet spot. Okay, I need to find a uh, risk sweet spot. Okay, it's in engineering terminology, it's called a harmonics. Okay, when things like hum, when harmonics in a system, when I inject some frequency, it harmonizes. It creates a harmonic. Okay, all right. So essentially, what that means is when I inject a frequency into a system, that system responds to it. Okay, but if there is no harmonics, then what it would do is if I send in a frequency, it'll ignore it. Okay, so so what I need to do is create a harmonic risk. Okay, I need to create uh, I need a harmonic risk, harmonic frequency. Okay, I need to create a harmonic rate. I need to create a harmonic risk. It's called a harmonic risk. Okay, where the system is dialed in such that it's like one of the I suppose it's like MACD, right? I think it's called a MACD or something like that. So there's the upper and the lower curve, and then there's the average that floats around, right? So essentially the moving average of that price is the harmonics. And when it moves away from it, it's steering away from the harmonics. And so what that means is in order for me to, but if it steers away, there's a risk that I'm going to lose. Okay? So that means that what I need to do is steer it towards an area where it's within the bounds of that harmonics so that I can put the size in, the risk size such that it is optimal. It's not too small, it's not too big, okay? If it's too small, the loss will be very difficult, but it would take forever. That's the problem. But if it's too big, then there is a strong possibility that it would be like that, right? And so there's a in engineering there's and a lot of the other things like music and things like that. There's a harmonic frequency, right? Harmonic frequency where things just hum. So that means I have to create. So what I'm looking towards is developing a win to loss ratio with a risk size that fits in very well, and not to exceed at a point where. So what I need to do is create an area where I've achieved about a 1.5% per day. Okay, that can be done with like incrementally sizing and taking multiple trades, not just one. Okay, I did that the past just today, and I just blew it. Okay, I just did it. I just did that. It happens. It just happens. Okay, psychologically it's tilted, and it just mind. It's like there's an emergency red button, and it's like, don't push it. Don't push that emergency red button, okay? Don't push it. And then wham, you just do it, right? So there is a harmonic risk, and I need to work on it. I need to figure that out so that when I take this, because when I'm looking at this, I'm thinking, wait a minute. It took me about an hour to pass this thing. Okay, look at that. It just took me about an hour to pass. Not even an hour. It took me about 30 minutes to pass. Two, funded next and the FTMO. I passed those. Okay, I can do that. If when the market is in alignment, I see the strategy correctly, and I risk it. But there is that possibility that it's going to flip around and the trade go the other direction. Okay, so I need to be aware of how I can anticipate that and figure that out. So maybe I can work on that for the next couple of weeks until when I'm waiting for my funding to come back in. Okay, right? So that's yeah. So that's what I need to work on.